Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't already. Ring that little bell and it'll notify you every time I upload a new video. Be sure and like this video. That actually helps me a lot. And visit our Facebook group where we love talking about movies. Okay, so today the movie I'm reviewing is called Call of the Wild. The movie is rated PG. It's 1 hour and 40 minutes. And the movie review mom grade I'm giving it is a B plus. I'll give you a quick nutshell and then some tips for parents, some themes worth talking about with your friends and family, and then I'll point out some things I liked and things I didn't like as fast as I can because I know you've got to get to the movie. I know, and do other things too. So first of all, in a quick nutshell, Buck is a remarkable dog based on the beloved novel The Call of the Wild by Jack London. What makes this remake of the charming story especially new and different is that the dog is 100% CGI. Director Chris Sanders made a digital scan of a dog that he and his wife got at an animal shelter. It's a cross between a St. Bernard and a Scotch Shepherd, the exact same mixed breed as the dog in Jack London's book. This is the live action directorial debut of Chris Sanders. He's previously directed the animated movie How to Train Your Dragon, which is a really cute franchise and just recently ended. It was very sweet. Anyway, some tips for parents are, first of all, your kids are going to want a dog after they see this movie. And there's some representation of animal cruelty. Some humans beat animals, so some people might be disturbed by that. But you have to remember that all of the animals are actually CGI. So no animals were actually harmed in the making of this movie. There's no profanity except for one time when the word hell is used as an exclamation. There's alcohol, a couple of bar scenes, and some drunken behavior, some violence by punching, people punch each other, and shooting of a gun. There's talk of death as well as portrayal of death. And you see Harrison Ford topless in a lake. Those are the tips for parents. Okay, so now some themes worth talking about. So first of all, I brought one of my friends with me, and after the movie, I said, "So what did you think?" And she said, "Oh, I loved it. We all have to go through our own spiritual journey to find out who we really are." And she's a very spiritual woman. And so I thought that that was really great that she was able to pull that theme out of the movie. And of course, the movie is a journey of discovery. Also, the journey of overcoming adversity, that you're never going to arrive at who you really are until you go through adversity. Or maybe I should say better, adversity reveals who you really are. One of the characters is Perot, played by Omar Sy, and he says, "We are all tied up together," as the dogs are tied up together. But he was trying to explain anything you do affects what I do and affects what other people do. And that's a really important lesson to learn. And I really liked the visual representation of that message as well as him voicing that message. We all feel joy when we belong to a pack, and that's something that the narrator had said also. Other themes are jealousy, greed, friendship, loss of a loved one, and hope. Now, some things that I really liked are, first of all, the CGI of Buck, the dog, is extremely impressive most of the time. All of the other animals are also filmed by CGI, and they include timber wolves, a bear, deer, and rabbits. However, there are some moments that the CGI looks super fake, and it happens often. So there was just this difficult balance, I think, of getting the dog to look realistic. I mean, and he does, but then there were certain moments where, I don't know, expressions or behavior or movements didn't look real. I mean, we're so spoiled with technology nowadays, right? The cinematography and green screen work are blended extremely well. I mean, you basically feel like you're outside the entire movie. You almost feel the warm sun on your face, and you feel shivering in the snow during those kinds of scenes as you visit Alaska and the Yukon Territory. So that was impressive. Omar Sy does a really good job with this character. He's extremely likable and believable in this role. And then who doesn't love Harrison Ford? Well, maybe President Donald Trump after Harrison Ford's recent rants, and a bunch of people who were offended by the name calling and are now boycotting the movie because of it. So the only thing I didn't really like about Harrison Ford in the movie was that he just looks so old, and keep politics out. I thought the idea of using illustrations at the very beginning of the movie to establish the setting was a really nice touch, and both to take us back in time, but also as a respectful nod to the original novel. The audience that I watched the movie with loved it and reacted to everything in a way that would have made the filmmakers and the actors and everyone involved with the film really pleased, because there was such a great reaction. You see some beautiful scenery and nature. I enjoyed the camera angles from the dog's point of view and would have actually liked to have seen a little bit more of that. It only happens really just a few times. It was really fun to watch Buck experience snow for the first time. I remember when our family dog was in snow for the very first time. It was hilarious. And so they captured that in that moment. And I thought that was really cute. And all of the people in the audience loved that moment too. And I loved seeing the Aurora Borealis. Seeing the Northern Lights is on my bucket list, has been on my bucket list for decades. And I'm so excited that it's actually on my planner. I'm going to be going to Iceland in the fall of 2020 to go see them. I hope that we get to see them, because I know it's not a guarantee. But anyway, super excited. I didn't think that Alaska had fireflies, so I thought maybe the director just threw them into that one scene to make it extra magical. So actually, after the movie, I Googled it and found out Alaska does have fireflies, and so does the Yukon Territory, parts of Canada. And I love fireflies. They are so magical. It always makes me feel like I'm at Disneyland or something like that. Now, some things that I didn't really like are, first of all, the size of Buck, the dog, changes in various scenes. In the movie poster, this is kind of a pet peeve of mine. You see Harrison Ford and he's standing there, and Buck is like practically at his chest. And I'm thinking, I know the dog is big, but he's not that big. And then several times his face was just huge in comparison to people. And then all of a sudden it would be a little bit smaller. And so there wasn't as much consistency. And again, doing any of this CGI is just extremely impressive. It just needed a little bit more touch up. The other thing that bothered me about Buck was he was given so many human emotions and behaviors, things that really aren't accurate or correct for canines to do. And of course, the audience loved it, but it seemed very manipulative, some of the things that Buck does that dogs just would never do. For example, somehow Buck understands the dangers of drinking alcohol. So he hides a bottle of alcohol from someone because, he thinks that alcohol is not good for this person, which it wasn't. But still, dogs don't know that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they do. I adore Dan Stevens. And so I didn't think that his character that he played really showcased all of his talents. And I was kind of surprised that he would take a role like this. Then again, it's a role that I hadn't seen him play before. So maybe he just wanted to do something fun and different. I don't know. I'm always pleased to see Karen Gillan also. So I was also disappointed that she only had a few lines and just was in the movie for just a few minutes. I love her in the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, as well as Welcome to the Jungle franchise. She's so talented. So again, she just had this tiny role that didn't showcase everything she could do. I also get a kick out of Bradley Whitford, and I love everything that he does. So I wished I could have seen him more in this film, although what he does is very, very well done. There are some details that aren't accurate and some things that don't quite make sense in the movie. So just try not to let them bother you and you'll be fine. Okay, that's it in a quick nutshell. So be sure and visit moviereviewmom.com. That's where I have all of the funny lines that I write down from the movie, as well as the interesting lines from the movie. And then we have contests and other kind of stuff like that going on. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this movie, and I'll see you in the next movie review. Bye for now.